Good morning. This is Vic Callender. I am responding to a blog that Sherry posted that was sent to her by someone, expose on CBC. Enough already, man, with the foolishness, man. How long has CBC been at the pinnacle of failure? Successive governments have sat there and watched the degradation of CBC. It is planned, orchestrated failure by repeated governments to not provide the financial instrument that CBC needs to thrive and to be a viable news organization in the 21st century. It is state owned. Now, you you people act in the general populace as if they're not in charge of the purse strings of government. You are by way of your vote. And if you do not insist that the elected officials do their jobs, which is to legislatively fund, maintain the purse strings of a corporate entity such as CBC, then of course it's going to go into disarray. It's going to go into mismanagement. We can no more hold Sanka Price as the person responsible for the declination, the decline at CBC than we can any other past CEO of that organization. The purse strings come from the government. It's done legislatively. And if those 30 people who sit in the House of Assembly cannot find their way out of a wet paper bag, what do you expect? Citizen who wrote that article, what do you expect? Blame the legislative process in Barbados entirely for allowing mismanagement of government owned entities that government happen to be in charge of. A few years back, all of you laughed at Grenville Phillips when Grenville Phillips spoke about ISO 9000 series being put in place to run Barbados's organizations. You brushed over that, glossed over it. But you need some serious people, not only political cronies, to head these organizations. You need people who are worth their salt in thinking, who are worth their weight in understanding organizational leadership. A lot of these people, they don't, because they're cronies, put into positions only to perform at the behest of a minister or prime minister or whatever. In order for government to function as it should, which is serve its citizenry, people should be put in positions of employment at these large government corporations that's bipartisan, that have the interests of regular working class Barbadians at heart. So, in fairness to Sanka Price, I don't know what the organizational leadership is at CBC, so I would have to defer to those who know better. But I'm saying here today that the state of affairs at CBC happened long before Sanka Price, happened long before the person before Sanka Price, and the person before that, and the person before that, and the person before that. It goes way back. It's a state owned company. If it has not evolved with the 21st century, blame your legislators. Blame the people who control the purse strings. Blame the prime minister and the minister responsible for that entity. Don't just blame the CEO. I mean, he probably goes to them with a budget and they tell him, well, no, we've got more important things. You need to streamline this, you need to streamline that. So when people come out and you know, blame CEOs of corporations that are state owned, you need to look at the legislative process. Every Tuesday, these people meet. They're going to meet probably tomorrow. And All it is an organized get together for them. There's no robust debate about anything that really goes anywhere to help Barbadians. And there are 29 of them sitting over there lollygagging and bullshitting. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. The government controls the purse strings. And informed Barbadians need to ask, where are our monies going? Where? If the government cannot balance its own checkbook, how then can regular, hardworking Barbadians trying to maintain their family manage theirs? It's disarray. So long before Sanka, fairness to Sanka, come on. I mean, I don't know what the personnel issues are at CBC, but they've been there now for a long time. People look at the CEOs of places like CBC as being too august, you know, too separated from the regular employees. That's always been the case. It was the case when Barrow was Prime Minister of Barbados and when Tom Adams was Prime Minister of Barbados. The foregone conclusion was that the CEOs of those organizations, of CBC in particular, was aloof. So Sanka is just inheriting a proud, long tradition of mismanagement there. It's a problem because it's been a vaulted situation for years. That's not the only place in Barbados where there is complete dishevelment as it references how organizational structure should be. Go back and look, writer, and be fair and bipartisan in what you've written. Hold Motley and the rest of them responsible more than you hold Sanka Price. I'm not here advocating for Sanka primarily. I'm at full disclosure, we were schoolmates, at Goodland Primary School many, many years ago. I have not seen Sanka in many, many years, but he seems to be a good, decent fellow. I don't know that Sanka is aloof and arrogant, and I don't know that Sanka. Maybe he has changed. But in fairness, CBC has been in problems for many, many years. And most of Barbados's news media has been in trouble. Look at the Advocate News. Look at what's going on. Look at what went on there.